What's going on? So we have an interesting video today, and this is probably gonna spark off the new channel that I'm gonna make. So subscribe and get the message out there. And this is gonna be, if you want to call it vlogs, but more so talks and discussions and exposing or truths, something along those lines. Because my original channel, Snap Crackle Fizzle, was gonna be just for music like it was intended to be, and there's just too much stuff on there and I need to separate it. So this is going to be the spark of the new channel. And yeah, so we got an interesting topic to cover, real interesting, especially for the ladies. So it's going to be Devolution, and we're also going to talk about how to have what is a natural pregnancy, a natural birth, how to give one. Now, I don't know all the circumstances, but I know most of them. So yeah, and here we go. We're just gonna turn around over here. I have like a little creek in the background. I thought I'd do it over here. So basically what's going, I should have brought the freaking the stick for to hold it. But anywho, so what we got going on here is de-evolution. First of all, I don't really believe in evolution. Actually, evolution isn't real. You know, I don't believe we came from monkeys. Long story short, it's just a lie because they don't want you to believe in God. That's pretty much it. When we talk about things such as, you know, where we came from and stuff like that, who knows at the end of the day? But I have a feeling we've been genetically engineered to some extent, or we've adapted, but that doesn't necessarily, that's just like gene expression with the environment, because you are one with the environment. Hence, we have like Hispanics, blacks, Native Americans, Asians, and so forth. We got whites, Europeans, da-da-da-da-da. Of course, we can adapt to anywhere, but what's optimal for the health is going to be what's optimal for you, whatever makes you feel best. When we talk about de-evolution, our jaws, people who have skinny, narrow jaws, you gotta understand, I'll tell you how a natural human is supposed to look, and it's basically not one exact way, but for the most part, they're supposed to be thick, fat, and attractive. And what I mean fat, I mean is like thick fat. A lot of people, sorry, when you're fat, I have nothing against being fat, but there's a difference between being thick and fat. And a lot of people tend to think they're thick and not fat, but it's the other way around. You have to move your muscles and stuff. Like, you can't just sit around all day. If you want to, you can, and of course you can, but you know, that you're not just gonna stay attractive your whole life. It doesn't work like that. You have to do some type of activity, some type of exercise, some type of workout. Don't think you're just gonna be beautiful and handsome all your life, whatever, male or female. Okay, so when we talk about de-evolution, our jaws are supposed to be wide, real round. Mine's probably de-evolution, probably a little bit, but you can fix it for your next generation, your offspring. When you give birth, that's how you can fix it. Though you'd have to eat the right diet, and that's basically it for that part. You know, there's other things you can do, but honestly, I just think it's just a bunch of BS. Now, when we talk about it, you know, again, if you, a good picture reference, something to look back on is just look at the biblical pictures or older pictures, and you'll see the men is usually skinny, muscular, lean for the most part. It's not always that way. It depends the geographical location and what their diet is and stuff along those lines. But we're supposed to have a wide jaw, so circular and muscular, and that's pretty much how it is for the whole body. I can't really speak, and your teeth are supposed to be perfect, like perfect across. A good example is this, a good example of this that came out with a lot of slur, is just, look at Weston Price and his foundation. Now, I'm not really a fan of Weston Price. He's done good things. I just don't really like his book. It's too lengthy and, you know, just a bunch of BS, really. Not, anywho, all you would have to do is just search Weston Price and search some of his natural human beings, or just type tribes. You'll see all their teeth and how they are. And there's even more to that. I don't know everything along that, but there's more to that. Other things, and that's one thing to look out for. But as the women, women are supposed to have big breasts. It's all just for nature, and it's all to feed the young and offspring. That's all it is. Women are supposed to look attractive. They're supposed to. So are men. We're supposed to look like gladiators for the most part. Think Romans or something along those lines. But you can always go search up tribes and see how they naturally look if they're still intact. And indigenous, you can also search indigenous or indigenous, same thing. You can search either one. Women are supposed to have big breasts, kind of like the biblical pictures that you've seen. I don't know how long ago those pictures were really from, but anyways, you can see how we de-evolutionize. Women are supposed to have wide hips. They're supposed to like be wide, not really a fat ass, but wide hips. And they're supposed to have breasts and look attractive. And why so? And they're supposed to be pretty much for the most part thick. Now, like I said, it doesn't always have to be this way, but for the most part it is. And what I mean by wide hips is like really wide hips. And a good way I would say this is like Hispanics, Indians, and definitely African Americans, because they still got it. You can see it. It's not always this way, but it's a good reference for sure and a good look. And these women, why they have wide hips, it's for them to have babies real easily. That's it. Now we're going to get in to say how to have a natural birth. I'm going to tell you, no vaccines. There's no such thing as an injection. You do not need vaccines or injection. Complete lie. When you give birth, should never be a C-section unless it's an absolutely emergency. But you gotta understand, the doctors don't want to wait around and play around. They don't really care. You're not supposed to have a C-section. It's supposed to come out through the vagina. That's how it's supposed to go. I'll say it one more time. Your natural birth is supposed to come through the vagina. You want a healthy baby? I'm gonna tell you how. No vaccines, no injections. Also, you don't want your baby being born in bright lights. You basically don't want to go to the hospital. And if you do, you want to have certain criteria, and you better alert them and tell them how you want it, because this is the real deal. Basically, when the thing comes off from the umbilical cord, you want to let it sit there, and it usually lasts probably like up to 3 days. And then naturally as you let it sit in you'll go in a bath of warm water for the most part, or hot water, somewhere in between, and the umbilical cord will naturally detach after a couple days. Again, you don't want the injections. You want to feed your baby not soy milk, some man-made stuff in the laboratory. You want to feed it breast milk all the time. And if you can't feed it breast milk, you will feed it cow milk or some type of mammal milk, because we are a mammal, an animal, whatever. Just see all these dumb names: mammal, animal, human. I could kind of get human, but when we get to mammal and animal, it's pretty much the same thing for the most part. So you need some other milk to supply for the kid if you're not healthy, or if you can't produce any. Yeah, or maybe your milk's toxic or something. So these are things to look out for. When you don't want to have a baby in natural lights, that's why your baby will cry very minimally, if not at all. Babies aren't meant to really cry. That's a lie. Your baby's crying because you're feeding it garbage and processed food, and we're de-evolutionized. Again, you don't want to get no vaccines, no injections. You don't want to have it born in bright lights. You want to be born in the dark, like in a tent, like how it would be, or under a tree or something. And then you need to let it sit there until the baby naturally detach off the umbilical cord. You don't cut it. That's satanic. I just know, just the whole action, cutting, just the whole, you don't even need to get into it. It's just not good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, you kind of don't want random people handling your baby. That's kind of weird too. You know what I mean? Just random people handling your baby. It'd be someone you're comfortable with, or someone you know who's going to handle your baby when it comes out the womb. Yeah. Now, like, I'm not a woman. I never had a baby, but I can tell this is the natural way. And also, like, I can never have a baby. I'm a male. And we also need to look at the prospects of, how the woman feels and everything about that, and their connection with whoever's around them at the time, which for the most part would always be people around them, not random doctors, not in bright lights. You got to understand, this is not good. And then the baby coming out goes straight to the mother, not to someone random. straight to the mother, so it knows. It will always know anyway, for the most part. This is have an instinctual, healthy baby. Now, I'm not going to get into the diet and everything. That's not on this. So another reason we de-evolutionize is because, like, because I'm done. That's all I had to say really about all that. Again, we're kind of rewinding to the beginning of the video. Subscribe to the channel. Like I said, I just started this one. Also, de-evolutionize, we just used to be way more, we could take this, we used to live outside basically, we did, and we used to freaking have like a small home and be nomadic people for the most part, hunters and gatherers, which is very true, and it always goes back to that. We did not change from this. Repeat, we did not change for that. They've been manipulated. Maybe some circumstances happen, maybe some control, maybe some manipulation, maybe some fights, maybe governments, maybe society. But ultimately our true personnel, our human homo species, species, or whatever they call it, whatever, whatever it is, sapiens, homo sapiens, whatever, here we go again, whatever is the fact is we were hunters and gatherers. More so scavengers, like the birds, like vultures, just like vultures. Go and eat rotten meat. That's basically what we used to do. And we used to scavenge for fruits, trees, leaves, roots, and tubulars. Just as simple as that. There's no questioning this. I'm tired of all the questioning. This is the truth. I don't care if you don't think it's the truth. It is. It just is. We need to put an end to the discussion and stuff like this. And farming was introduced. It's always said that. If you go look, farming's always introduced. And actually, this is when most societies start to decline. Now, another aspect of this is when creativity and more free time came, because we grew things. Maybe we harvested food, and we had husbandry, which is like, you know, we had our own crops, and then we had our own animals, you know, marrying a little lamb. We produced our own things, such as milk and cheese, and then goats, you know, cows, the whole 9 yards, camels, ducks, geese, whatever. And we didn't have to go search for it, and we just grew it and had our meat right down there. I'm trying to think, not a factory farm, but I'm trying to think of cattle, husbandry. There's another word I was looking for, but I can't really nail it right now. But ultimately, we're just scavengers that would just go eat the meat right off the freaking thing and go eat berries right off the plant. That's just basically how it is. And that's pretty much the diet. So you got that question answered too. So this is how to have a natural birth. You got to understand, the hospitals don't want you, and people don't want you to have a natural birth. They actually don't. For just mere impatientness. You don't, C-sections are a lie, you know, unless it's absolutely necessary. But that's not, you need the villi, which is bacteria, if you don't know, another word for it, aka bacteria, coming through the vagina. And then you need to breastfeed your baby for as long as it needs, as long as it wants. It's just as simple as that. Also, if you don't know, there's preparations. You don't just have a one-night stand and have a baby. There's preparations and rituals in all the cultures, all the tribes, and all the indigenous cultures, tribes, whatever you want to call them, all around the world, that you always prep for the baby. And usually they don't have babies back to back. Not at all. You can have as much sex as you want, but when it comes to babies, you need, that's why the fatness, the thick thighs, so the baby can drop right out. It's all for this. How are you? Just shooting a video. Yeah, well, I'm actually about to be done soon. Yeah, I thought it was like real nice, like right here. I love the hat. Talk to you soon. And again, this is for why the women have big breasts. That's why women just naturally want big breasts if they don't have any breasts. Now, there's nothing wrong with having skinny breasts, but, you know, it more comes down to the matter of producing milk. But breasts are pretty much an inclination of, you know, producing milk. It's just simple as that. That's why people with flat chests, such as females, well, obviously females, want bigger breasts. It's just as simple as that. And that's pretty much it for the most of the video. You know, again, with the rituals and the tribes and things, they fatten up the girl, then they have a baby. It's all planned out. They don't just have babies. And that's the thing nowadays. People are just go, I don't care if you go and fuck. Don't care. Have as much fuck as you want. But don't have a baby until you're ready. Especially, we have financial needs and a lot of problems in the world, especially overpopulation, which is a problem. Definitely is a problem. So you need to take into consideration, and yes, you can fuck, but is this the guy you want to fuck? Is this the guy that's going to be there? Is he really happy? That's the first thing you should always look at in your significant other. Is they're happy? I'm not going to attack too many topics today, but we are on this. You got to make sure you really like this person. Is this person really it? Or you just like him because he's attractive? Which is it's an all right reason to like someone, you know, of course. But, you know, there's more things to that. Personality. How is he going to be a father? Financial, you know, financial needs. Things like that. You know, is this really the person? Maybe it's all right if you just want to fucking have sex. That's fine. But, you know, is this guy just going to bust in you and not care? Is he really that liable? It's really easy to see someone. Most girls, girls are more so like cats. They're more so like mischievous and they're curious. But they need to be more grounded and stood up for themselves. Girls are more so empowering than guys because ultimately, you know, they want each other for the most part, but different sexes as I talk about. But, you know, guys just need to be more, they both need to be more grounded and more situated. It's an all around thing. You know, a lot of people just have babies and the kid doesn't have families and dads or mothers, whatever way, you know, child support. We'll get on to these other third party things, these other abstract ideas when it comes to financial needs and all these other things. And it's just like, you know, this is not right. I'll end it with this. My whole life, you can leave your comments below, give me a like, sub to the channel. Last thing, final thought I'm going out with, my whole entire life, I'm 25 now, I've never seen personally one family that's together, that's strong and really good and more so even healthy. So they all intertangle with one another, but I have not seen this personally. Now I can't validate things I see on TV and screens. That's not, you know, because I'm not in someone's lives, you know, and it's all through the camera and picture. You know, what you see with me is what you get. I'm like this on and off camera. I'm not fibbing, you know, and a lot of guys, this is why I want the girls to know, a lot of guys fib, lies, and it's the same thing with the women, but I feel like, you know, guys do that more so just for sex and manipulative, and then they have a kid, and here we go, you know what I mean? It's just like one night they got intoxicated, drunk, or whatever, and then they had a kid. It's just like, that's not how it's supposed to be. I am with abortions. I understand why people would get abortions. I'm completely with it. You know, I'm not with Plan Bs. Maybe one time or something, but I'm not with birth control. I'm not with that. If the natural woman's cycle actually can come, you can come inside the woman, you can ejaculate inside the woman, and there won't be babies. There's just like 1 week out of the month. If the woman's on a natural period, not any hormones are set in healthy girl, they will always, you can always ejaculate them, but there's only 1 week you can't. Now this has to be a healthy woman, and they have to be on the regular cycle. It's with the moons and with the sun. That's why everything relates to the cosmos and out of there. Now that's like a whole separate video that I have to get into, but that's all I'm saying for now. So subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to know more, let me know. Any questions, let me know. Yes, I don't know everything either, but this is the most part and what I gathered. So have a nice day.